Yeah, the difficulty with knowing whether or not the estate plan actually works is you won't know until you're no longer here,
Yeah.
right? With a lot of other things that where you do it yourself, you can build it, you can see it works, great, you saved yourself some money. With an estate plan, you just don't know. You don't know until you're no longer here, and now your beneficiaries and your administrator or trustee is now implementing this plan, and by then it's too late to make any changes. Tiffany, what is estate planning?
So estate planning is the process of having documents in place so that you can plan for the management of your assets in the event of incapacity or when you pass away.
Okay, and what documents do we draft to make sure you have a complete estate plan?
Basic estate plans will need these foundational documents. The first one would be a living trust. That's going to be a document that says all the assets that are owned by my trust should be managed in this way. It's like an instruction manual for how you want someone to step in the event you can't, to carry out your wishes with regards to management of your assets, either for your benefit or for the benefit of your beneficiaries, your children, your loved ones. The second document is a will. A will is usually part of an estate plan, and you do need it in addition to a living trust in case there are assets that are left out of the trust that are not owned by your trust. In the event or when you pass away and you have any assets that are left out of the trust and they're still in your individual names, these assets could potentially have to go through probate. And in that event, a will is going to say how you want to distribute the assets that are in probate. The third document is a power of attorney. This is another document that helps you appoint people to manage your assets in the event of incapacity. And the last document is an advanced healthcare directive, and this document will say who you want to make medical decisions for you in the event that you can't make them yourself.
Is there anything else you want to provide our viewers as far as estate planning?
They often forget to transfer assets into their trust. They often need to fund the trust with things like their property and their accounts. We often help them with the transfer of their property into the trust, but we want to make sure that our clients are also taking into account all the other assets they have in order to fulfill their estate planning wishes.
Yeah, oftentimes when we see someone with the do-it-yourself estate planning, they may have some form of documentation, but they rarely properly fund the trust.
Yes, and I think that's one of the issues that arises when you do estate planning on your own. You often forget to fund your trust. You often don't even understand the concept of why you should transfer assets to your trust. But more so, you don't get the advice and background of attorneys like us who have a combined experience of more than 30 years, where we can inform and advise our clients with regards to their particular situation. We often say what you don't know, and what we can provide our clients are options. If they are concerned about their children's management of assets, then we can give them some advice and options about how they can continue to control what they leave behind to their kids while still allowing their children to have some flexibility and responsibility in managing their assets on their own.
Yeah, oftentimes I will ask clients, when the two of you pass away, do you want to divide your assets equally between your minor children? And their gut response is yes. But then if I ask them what would happen if one child needed more money than the other, what would you do? And they say, well, of course I would make sure that we would use that money for the child that needs it. But that's not what happens with most estate plans that you see by the do-it-yourselfers.
For sure. I don't think that they take that into consideration. And if their child is not in a position where they do need that extra financial help, assistance, then that's not taken into consideration in their estate plan. And there are definitely a lot of ways that are still fair and that we can build into your estate plan to make sure that your children are taken care of the way that you wish for them to be so.
And so if someone is looking to do estate planning, should they do it themselves? Can they do it themselves?
Yes, they can do the estate plan themselves. Should they do it themselves? I have seen many people try to do it themselves and unfortunately fail and need to go through probate anyways and end up in a lot of litigation, people contesting the terms of their estate plan. So oftentimes people will try and do it themselves because they're trying to save some money, but in the end it's going to cost them and their beneficiaries a lot more.
The difficulty with knowing whether or not the estate plan actually works is you won't know until you're no longer here.
Yeah.
Right? With a lot of other things that where you do it yourself, you can build it, you can see it works, great, you saved yourself some money. With an estate plan, you just don't know. You don't know until you're no longer here, and now your beneficiaries and your administrator or trustee is now implementing this plan, and by then it's too late to make any changes.
And we've definitely been witnesses to that.
So if you have any questions about estate planning, feel free to reach out to Modern Wealth Law. Until next time, plan well, live well.